When Zilong and Zidong spoke, Yang Kai had already judged the location of the spirit medicine based on the richness of the fragrance of the surrounding medicine. After all, he have stayed in this medicine valley for a long time and collected a lot of medicinal materials, and Yang Kai himself is very much an alchemist, so he still has experience in this area. Fortunately, the unknown spirit medicine is the closest to him, and the area ahead is not known how many space cracks exist. As a result, if Zilong and Su Wei want to get close to the spirit medicine, they will definitely be delayed by these space cracks, but on the contrary, he is unlikely to be affected. Thinking of this, Yang Kai speeded up again. Suddenly, Yang Kai sniffed his nose, a look of surprise appeared on his face, more than one kind. At this moment, he smelled different medicinal scents, mixed with the previous scents, which made people's sense of smell a little messy and couldn't distinguish it clearly. Yang Kai raised his head and saw just 100 meters away, on a small hillside, there were 5 small lavender flowers blowing in the wind. The flowers were about the size of a palm, with 9 petals, an inexplicable charm flowing on the flowers endlessly. And behind these flowers, a huge space crack lay in the sky, looking like an open beast mouth, trying to swallow these 5 strange flowers. This as Yang Kai narrowed his eyes, and the next moment he recognized what it was: Comprehension Principle Flower. This is the Comprehension Principle Flower that Ghost Ancestor mentioned before. The Ghost Ancestor had occasionally passed through the Medicine Valley and collected several Comprehension Principle flowers in the periphery of the Medicine Valley. Realizing the preciousness of Medicine Valley, but because of scruples, he couldn't go too deep. Even so, he was very satisfied with his own gains. Because something like Comprehension Principle Flower could help the martial artist to perceive the heavenly law martial Dao and improve his own realm, which is especially remarkable for the strong Void King realm. When practicing, holding a petal of the Comprehension Principle Flower in the mouth can definitely give unexpected effects. However, the effect of the Comprehension Principle Flower varies greatly depending on the age. It takes 300 years for the newborn Comprehension Principle Flower to bloom. When the flower blooms, there are only 3 petals, and every 100 years thereafter, 1 more petal will be added until 9 petals are born, which is the most it can get. 9 is the best Comprehension Principle Flower with 9 petals. At least 900 years old. Then with the increase in the medicine age, the number of petals will not increase. However, the color of the Comprehension Principle Flower will slowly change, from the initial whiteness to the bright red, then blood red before it turns to purple. Each transformation will consume a lot of time, much harder than the growth of petals. The 5 Comprehension Principle flowers in front of him is already lavender, which means that the medicine age of these Comprehension Principle flowers is at least 3,000 years old. With this kind of thing, it is not too scary to promote to the Void King Realm powerhouse. If a Void King Realm powerhouse collects these 5 Comprehension Principle flowers, he will no longer even need Spirit Pill when practicing. As long as he contains the last petal at the critical moment, and it will surely ensure the steady improvement of one's realm. So as soon as Yang Kai discovered these 5 Comprehension Principle flowers, he realized their great value. The only genius treasures he managed to collect before are only those 2 Nirvana Holy Fruit that can be worthy of comparison with the value of the Comprehension Principle Flower. The others are not good enough. Yang Kai's heart was fiery, and when he made a move, he was about to rush to the Comprehension Principle flowers and snatch it. But just as he moved, his whole body suddenly tightened, and the whole body was cold for no reason. At the same time, in the corner of his eye, a purple light was struck from the left side like a shocking sword from the sky. There is an indescribable domain in this purple light, which is extremely terrifying. That is definitely not an attack that the Void Return stage can use to strike. It is definitely a Void King realm who performs such a move, and in the Void King realm, this person's strength is definitely not low. Zilong. Yang Kai immediately knew who had attacked him. He heard Shui Yu say that the cultivation technique practiced by Zilong and Zidong is called Purple Qilong River Secret Art. This cultivation technique is well known in the entire Star Territory. It is Zilong's family cultivation technique. Zilong can break into the second order Void King realm during his lifetime is entirely due to this cultivation technique. To practice this cultivation technique, you must wake up early every day, absorb the purple chi that is generated between the heaven and the earth when the sun is rising, and practice to the extreme. The purple chi can turn the rivers into the ocean and easily destroy the land of thousands of kilometers. Under normal circumstances, a strong man like Zilong will be self-reliant on his identity. Even if he has a bloody feud with Yang Kai, it is impossible to sneak attack on such a junior. If Zilong wants to kill Yang Kai, he will be upright and crush him with absolute strength. He is fully capable of this. But the situation is a little different right now. Zilong has undoubtedly discovered the 5 comprehension principle flowers, knowing that they are precious and rare. And it is the key to his promotion and breakthrough to the third order Void King realm. How can Zilong be pedantic? Yang Kai was obviously the closest to comprehension principle flowers, followed by him and Zidong. Then Su Wei was still 500 meters away. If he don't delay Yang Kai's speed and let Yang Kai rush to the comprehension principle flower, then he will be thrown into a rat trap. So when he discovered the figure of comprehension principle flowers and Yang Kai, Zilong didn't even think about it, and directly struck out a move. Although this was a random attack from a powerful person in the Void King realm, it was also terrifying. It's not something the ordinary Void Return stage can resolve easily. After one move, Zilong's speed increased sharply, without even looking at Yang Kai. In his eyes, there were only 5 lavender flowers with a hot light in his eyes. As for whether Yang Kai is dead or alive, that's not what he needs to care about. It's just an ant, why should he care? On the other side, Yang Kai yelled, his 10 fingers flicked, swift as a gust of wind, accompanied by the sound of chi chi chi, hundreds of golden blood threads shot out. These golden blood threads intertwined, and instantly weaved the appearance of a shield, in front of Yang Kai. This wasn't over yet. Yang Kai looked solemn, and through the shield transformed by golden blood threads, he circulated the whole Saint Yuan in his body, and blasted dozens of punches forward. Bumpy bump. The Saint Yuan is agitated, violent power splashed into the void. The light of the golden blood thread shield suddenly dimmed for a moment, and it was directly broken up and turned into golden blood thread again, but the purple light remained unabated. Still attacking Yang Kai. The punching punches touched these purple rays, colliding and blending with each other. Yang Kai snorted, his body involuntarily flew backwards, his face paled in midair. Although he didn't suffer much trauma, but this time he suffered a little loss. Staring at Zilong, who was quickly approaching towards the comprehension principle flower, a look of astonishment appeared on Yang Kai's face. It is not that he has never fought against a person in the second order Void King realm. Luo Hai was also at the cultivation level of second order Void King realm. But the feeling that Zilong gave him was much stronger than Luo Hai. This person has definitely reached the pinnacle of the second order Void King realm. Perhaps as long as there is some chance, he can break through to the third order. Violet Star Master, well-deserved reputation. N. Zilong also gave a startled look, and while rushing towards the comprehension principle flower, he turned his head and glanced at the location of Yang Kai, with a surprised look on his face. He didn't expect that Yang Kai actually blocked his attack. Although he looked distressed, and it was just his subsequent blow, not full power, but a Void Return stage can achieve this level, which is amazing enough. This kid, somewhat weird. Zilong shot himself. The blow he just made was to let Zidong come to resolve the matter. At the very least, it should be a serious injury. However, Yang Kai only had a pale face and nothing else. He is actually better than his son? When is there such a young man in the star territory? What kind of old monster that never came out was this young man brought up by? In an instant, many thoughts turned in Zilong's mind, and his expression looking at Yang Kai became more solemn. At this moment, there was a sudden movement of exhalation from the depths of Medicine Valley. Father! Zidong, who was following Zilong, changed his complexion and exclaimed in a low voice, with a panic in his voice. 7 bright treasure light, is coming. Judging from the various experiences before, the speed at which the 7 bright treasure light cover the Medicine Valley is extremely terrifying. If you don't find a place to escape in time, you will definitely be enveloped by the light. So Zidong couldn't help but panic. At this time, Zilong was less than 100 feet away from the comprehension principle flower, and closer than Yang Kai, and the fruits of victory were at his fingertips. But at this distance, it made him difficult. A look of struggling and hesitation flashed across his face. In the end, he did not dare to greedily advance. He gritted his teeth and grabbed Zidong with his backhand. He found a space crack nearby, relying on it to avoid the light behind the space crack. Not far away, Su Wei, who had been rushing towards this side, stopped quickly, and also hid behind a space crack. The same is true for Yang Kai. Fortunately, there are so many space cracks in this area. Otherwise, the three of them can only risk rushing towards the comprehension principal flower and hide beside the space crack behind the comprehension principal flower. For a while, the three of them stood still, and the distance between them and the comprehension principal flower was almost the same, still presenting the previous triangle, sandwiching the comprehension principal flower in the middle. Silently, the 7 bright treasure light filled the whole medicine valley. The whole world seemed to be quiet at this moment, only the faint sound of breathing came out. Yang Kai took a deep breath, glanced coldly over the place where Su Wei and Zilong were, sat down cross-legged, and threw a healing spirit pill into his mouth. Although he blocked the attack of Zilong just now, his own Saint Yuan was violent, and he had to stabilize it first. Fortunately, it wasn't a big problem. Yang Kai just adjusted his aura for a while, and there was no serious problem. The rest can only be solved by the effect of the medicine. Zilong's expression had been extremely gloomy, his eyes were fiery, staring at the 5 comprehension principal flower, motionless, but the Zidong standing behind him had been looking at Yang Kai with contemptuous eyes, with a sneer on his mouth. And Su Wei looked around, seeming to be planning some horrible idea. To be continued.